I never had the go-ahead to terminate.
Let me show you how.
Jet Li is a famous film actor, a great athlete, and the youngest wushu champion in the world. The fighter has many techniques in his arsenal, but his main weapon is wisdom. Despite worldwide fame, Jet Li remains a modest and reserved person. We will tell you about the life of Jet Li in this video. How Jet Li lives and how much he earns. Jet Li, whose real name is Li Lianji, was born in the capital of China, Beijing, on April 26, 1963, and was the fifth and youngest child in the family. When the boy was 2 years old, his father died, and the mother had to raise her children alone. As a child, Li had a calm personality and exemplary behavior. Mom didn't allow her youngest son to swim, ride a bike, or anything that could in theory cause injury, and Li obeyed and didn't even try to lie to her. The future actor went to school at the age of 8 and was a year older than his classmates. The teachers loved the boy because he was honest and humble. He was even allowed to help lead daily physical exercises. Little Lianji stood in front of all the school children and counted out the rhythm with a serious look. In the summer, after finishing the first grade, the local authorities sent him along with all his classmates to the Beijing sports camp, where Li was assigned to join a wushu group. As a hardworking student, he diligently followed the instructions of the coach, which amazed him. Li was the only one of his peers to whom the coach suggested continuing training after the end of the summer vacation. So the boy began to practice daily not only the physical technique of wushu, but also the spiritual practices of this martial art. The coach had high hopes for his student and even helped the poor family with food so that Li's young body would develop fully. When he was 9 years old, Lianji was preparing for his first competition outside of Beijing and looked forward to traveling by train, but his mother was terrified that her child would be so far from home. Li even almost stayed, but it was already impossible to refuse to participate. At the performance, the boy was recognized as the best, and after returning home, he was released from classes in a regular school and transferred to a sports school. In those days, electricity was often cut off in Beijing, but this didn't interfere with the coach's training. During one of these dark training sessions, Li injured his foot but was afraid to say anything about it. With a swollen foot, he trained with everyone for 2 days until it turned out that it was a fracture. But even then, the boy was not released from classes. While the bone was healing, the boy practiced punching. In 1974, at the age of 11, Li went to the United States with the Chinese national team. There, the young athlete performed brilliantly and was noticed by US President Richard Nixon. Nixon was so inspired by Li's combat training, he jokingly invited him to become his bodyguard when Jet grew up. But he replied enchantingly, "I don't want to protect a particular person. I will protect millions of my compatriots." But despite the meeting with the President of the United States, Li still considers the main achievement of that momentous trip to be a change in his outlook and his attitude towards the American people. The boy realized that ordinary people in the United States are friendly and don't wish evil to the people of China. In the United States, Li didn't forget about his mother. He bought her a Swiss watch with the pocket money he received there. Returning to his homeland, the young athlete continued to participate in sports competitions and conquer new heights. Moreover, the 12-year-old boy often had to compete with athletes much older than him, in their 20s or even 30s. Over the next 4 years, Li, along with other Chinese athletes, traveled half the world demonstrating wushu techniques. Li strove to achieve the popularization of wushu in all countries, and he succeeded. Between 1975 and 1979, he became the Chinese wushu champion 5 times. The boy's athletic success contributed to the disclosure of his acting talent. Once at a competition, the athlete was noticed by director Zhang Xinyan. He got the idea to make another Bruce Lee out of the fighter, and what's remarkable, it was Bruce Lee who was Li Lianji's idol as a child. The boy's debut film was The Shaolin Temple, which tells the story of an orphan boy who was brought up in a monastery by Shaolin monks. The film was released in 1982 and was a resounding success. The directors didn't think twice before filming the sequel to the story in 1984, Shaolin Temple 2, Kids from Shaolin. And the final third part, Shaolin Temple 3, North and South Shaolin, appeared on the big screen in 1985. Actually, Li received the nickname Jet after filming in the Shaolin trilogy. During the filming of the movies about Shaolin, the novice actor had a conflict with the director. after which Jet decided to make his own movies and star in them. But never having had a defeat before, Jet Li faced some setbacks. His first and last work as a director was Born to Defense, which was released in 1986 and failed miserably at the box office. In addition, the actor suffered a back injury during filming. Also, the attempt to obtain American citizenship was unsuccessful. The actor began to pay more attention to his personal life and having a family. In 1987, Jet married Huang Qian, an athlete who was a member of the Beijing Wushu team and also co-starred with him in Kids from Shaolin. In marriage, they had 2 daughters, Si and Taimi, but the couple divorced 3 years later. In 1989, the action movie Dragon Fight was released, and in 1991, the world saw another amazing film with Jet Li, Once Upon a Time in China, which was followed by 2 sequels released in the next 2 years. Speaking about the early films with Jet Li, we should mention such movies as The Master, Swordsman 2, The Legend 2, Last Hero in China, Kung Fu Cult Master, The New Legend of Shaolin, My Father is a Hero, Dr. Y in the Scripture with No Words, Black Mask, Once Upon a Time in China and America, Hitman, as well as Tai Chi Master and the Bodyguard from Beijing. The action movie Fist of Legend, which appeared on the big screen in 1994, can be called a remake of Bruce Lee's Fist of Fury.
中國人唔可以入賭場，出去！呢度係中國地方，中國人去邊都得。什麼？
And the 1995 picture Meltdown was remembered by the audience for its plot. The director of the film quarreled with the famous Jackie Chan and decided to make a parody of him, openly making fun of the actor and his family in the movie. In 1998, conquering audiences in Asia, Europe, and America, Jet Li made his Hollywood debut in the blockbuster Lethal Weapon 4.
哥，很久没见了。
快又是我们的天下。
His role was first offered to Jackie Chan, but he refused because he didn't want to play a negative character. As for Jet, this was his first role as a villain. In 1999, Lee got married for the second time. He chose Hong Kong actress Nina Lee Chi, who is 2 years older than her husband. They met each other back in 1989 when they co-starred in the movie Dragon Fight. The actor was still married then. Lee and Nina have been dating for a long time and legalized the relationship only after 10 years. Jet Li is sure that Nina is his soulmate and a person who understands him like no other. The couple has 2 daughters, Jane and Jada. 2 years after his brilliant work in Lethal Weapon 4, the actor starred in the dramatic action movie Romeo Must Die.
These guys find you up here, you're gonna have some serious problems, so I suggest you go out the window.
No, I like it this way.
Alright, it's your funeral.
The film paid off at the box office and Lee received a $2.4 million royalty. Another important feature of Jet is his endless love and concern for his family. In order to be with his wife in the last months of pregnancy, he turned down the role in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. In addition to this film, the actor also refused to star in The Matrix. Lee said that the cause was a fight over copyright. He didn't want the rights to the film to be completely transferred to the creators of the picture so that they could own them as intellectual property. While acting in The One in 2001, the actor managed to earn $7.5 million, even though the main role in the movie was originally supposed to be played by Dwayne Johnson.
I am Eula. I'm nobody's bitch. You are mine.
In this film, Jet worked with Jason Statham for the first time. In the same year, the actor played a role in the film Kiss of the Dragon, earning $5 million.
What did you do to me?
I put a needle in your neck.
That's it?
In a certain point. Very forbidden. It's called the Kiss of the Dragon.
An interesting fact from this film is that the tunnel in which Jet Li's character is overtaken by the French police is the same tunnel in which Princess Diana died in 1997. In one of the scenes, Jet's character attacks Pimp Lupo, played by Max Ryan. It was assumed that the dialogue between the actors would be filmed separately from the fight. But when they finished exchanging lines, the director for some reason didn't say cut, and Lee made a punch. This take was included in the final version of the movie, along with Ryan's completely genuine surprise. This incident came in handy because the filmmakers had to adjust the fights to the tastes of the audience, who wanted to see more realistic scenes. The fight scene between the characters of Jet Li and Cyril Raffaelli even had to be slowed down as the actors were moving too fast. To star in the 2002 film Hero, Jet Li agreed to a fee reduction to $11 million. Jackie Chan was offered to star in the role of the Emperor, but he refused. It was the most expensive Chinese movie by the time of its release. Another action movie with Li in the lead role, Cradle to the Grave, was released in 2003. In 2004, information appeared in the media about the death of the great actor and athlete. As it turned out, he was on vacation with his family in the Maldives during the tsunami. Fortunately, the information about his death turned out to be only a rumor. Jet survived, only injured his leg, saving his daughter. After this incident, the actor spends most of his time with his wife and children. In 2005, Luc Besson wrote the script for Danny the Dog specifically for Jet Li.
You big fucking asshole!
The movie features not only the longest-running fight scene with Li in his career, but also the most violent one. The next film starring the actor was Fearless.
没事吧？
没事儿。
这样没事。
别跑！
Its creators wanted to name the picture The Legend of the Fighter, but then it turned out that such a film already existed. For ethical reasons, Li refused to perform some of the techniques planned by the fight director. Elements such as a slap in the face or a blow with the back of the head seemed to the actor too incorrect in relation to Europeans and Americans. In addition to hand-to-hand fights, the action movie also features a scene of a battle with melee weapons. Anthony DeLongis and Jet Li broke at least 6 swords during the filming. At that time, Jet was engaged in charitable activities and has been an ambassador for the Red Cross since 2006. The athlete is a follower of Tibetan Buddhism. He even met personally with the Dalai Lama. He is attracted to the philosophy of Wushu, but according to Li, this kind of martial arts used for self-defense doesn't stand up to criticism. He strives to help young Chinese people understand what life is and shares his knowledge of Buddhism. It should be noted that not all of Jet Li's films were successful. One of the unsuccessful works was the movie War, filmed in 2007. The actor has stated in several interviews that he is not happy with either this film or its production. He went so far as to say that the film sucked and didn't trust the director Philip Atwell. Even halfway through filming, he knew he would get mediocre ratings instead of profits. In late 2007, Li returned to his homeland and starred in the Sino-Hong Kong film The Warlords. The main focus of the film was not on the martial arts but on the dramatic component. For this work, Jet received a Hong Kong Film Award nomination for Best Actor. The actor's fee for this film was $13 million. In the spring of 2007, Li founded his own nonprofit foundation, One Foundation, which aims to combat the consequences of natural disasters, including psychological trauma. In 2008, Li made his first screen appearance alongside martial arts veteran Jackie Chan in Rob Minkoff's action-adventure The Forbidden Kingdom.
Punch him again. Snake! It's not right for snake. Perhaps eagle.
Soon Jet starred as the main villain in the fantasy action movie The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor with Maria Bello and Brendan Fraser. After a long period of work in the United States, the actor was finally able to obtain American citizenship, but he renounced it in 2009 and also renounced Chinese citizenship in favor of Singapore citizenship. Jet chose this country because of the quality education system his younger daughters needed. Also in the same year, Li starred in the military drama The Founding of a Republic and launched his own fitness program called Wuji, which consists of elements of Wushu, yoga, and Pilates. Adidas soon launched the clothing line for this program emblazoned with the initials JL. Jet's return to the film industry after a year-long hiatus took place on the set of the action movie The Expendables.
When I get hurt, the only is bigger. Because I'm smaller. When I travel, I need to go farther.
I know, because you're smaller, right?
Yes.
Which brought together such stars as Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, and Mickey Rourke. In 2012-2014, Lee played the same role in the sequels The Expendables 2 and The Expendables 3. In 2010, Jet Li became the first Asian face of the luxury Swiss watch company Hublot. In 2011, Jet created the Taji Zen lifestyle company with the Chinese entrepreneur Jack Ma, founder of the Alibaba Group. The company's main mission is health and happiness for all through the art of Tai Chi. In the following years, the following movies starring Jet Li were released: the drama Ocean Heaven, Flying Swords of Dragon Gate, The Sorcerer and the White Snake, Badges of Fury, League of Gods, and Gangshou Dao. The latest and we hope not the last movie that Jet Li starred in was Mulan, released in 2020, in which he played the role of the Emperor.
Hua Mulan, the people owe you a debt of thanks. I owe you my life.
Since 2016, the actor has been actively maintaining his personal page on Instagram, publishing his photos. A photo of actor Jet Li got on social media in which he looked so bad that fans were seriously worried. The actor admitted that he's been suffering from hyperthyroidism since 2010, but he assures everyone that everything is fine with him. Despite his deteriorating health, the actor has no plans to leave the film industry and continues to act in various projects. "If I leave now, I will end up in a wheelchair later," he commented on his decision. "But if I don't leave, I will end up in a wheelchair, but it will be encrusted with diamonds." In his spare time, Jet plays badminton and ping pong, rides a bicycle, reads, and meditates. Martial arts superstar Jet Li turned 57 on April 26, 2020. On his birthday, he shared the best gift for his fans: family photos. In 2020, the actor's net worth was $250 million. His income from filming is the highest among Chinese movie stars. Jet's wife Nina's hometown of Shanghai is home to the actor's huge mansion worth 200 million won, about $30 million. The actor bought it in 2008, according to rumors, as a dowry for one of his daughters, but never lived in it. Since then, the house has fallen into disrepair and even was converted into a hostel for security guards. In Singapore, in Bukit Timah, the actor owns an elite bungalow for 20 million Singapore dollars, or 15 million US dollars. It is also known that the actor owns real estate in Los Angeles and lives there when he comes to the United States. Jet Li is not a big car enthusiast. He has a BMW 745 Li and a Spyker C8 Spider. Even though the actor lives in Singapore, having renounced his Chinese citizenship, he remains the favorite actor of his compatriots. What made Jet Li so successful? What do you think? Bolo Yeung, where is the Chinese Hercules now? Yang Si, better known as Bolo Yeung, was born on July 3, 1946, in the Chinese city of Guangzhou, into a family of a local entrepreneur and housewife. At the age of 4, the boy became interested in Kung Fu, and at the age of 10, he began to study martial arts with local masters. He also attended acrobatics training and became interested in weightlifting. He successfully combined martial arts with power loads, which allowed him to become the Chinese champion in powerlifting. Contrary to popular belief, Bolo wasn't a Shotokan karate champion and never practiced this kind of martial arts. In the mid-60s, the young man fled from communist China to Hong Kong. More precisely, he swam there. It was one of the few escape routes with the least likelihood of meeting the border patrol. In Hong Kong, Yang Si became a coach and opened his own bodybuilding school. Soon he came to the attention of an agent of the largest Hong Kong film company, Shaw Brothers Studio, who invited him to star in a movie. In 1970, the 23-year-old athlete made his motion picture debut in The Wandering Swordsman, in a supporting role, and won the Mr. Hong Kong title in the bodybuilding tournament, which he continued to confirm for 9 consecutive years. After playing brutal villains in 14 more films, including the action movie 5 Fingers of Death, the aspiring actor decided to leave the studio. The turning point in Yang Si's career was meeting Bruce Lee. At the time, Bruce was filming the movie Path of the Dragon, which was sponsored by Winston Cigarette Company. In cinemas before the screening, it was planned to launch a short masterclass from Bruce Lee and a cigarette advertisement in which Yang Si was invited to star. A friendship struck up between them, and in 1973, Bruce invited his friend to play a bodyguard of his main on-screen opponent in the movie Enter the Dragon. It was in this film that Yang Si played a character named Bolo, which he later chose for his stage name. In this movie, Bolo Yeung didn't fight Bruce Lee. He promised to put up a fight in the next film, which was to be Game of Death, but Bruce Lee died 6 days before the premiere of Enter the Dragon. The release of the action movie Chinese Hercules followed.
Well, in that case, what do we do with them? We kill them. And dump them.
Even though Bolo didn't play the main role in it, the nickname Chinese Hercules got firmly entrenched for him, like another nickname, the Beast from the East. Working with the legendary Bruce Lee made it easier for Bolo to get roles in movies, but his friend's death had closed his way to American cinema for many years. Left unsupported, he continued to play villains in local action films such as the 1974 The Young Dragons and the 2 parts of Bruce and Shaolin Kung Fu. We know nothing about the actor's wife, but their eldest son David was born on July 3, 1974, and he followed in his father's footsteps. From childhood, he practiced martial arts, and at the age of 14, together with Bolo, he appeared on the stage of a bodybuilding tournament for the first time. In addition, he starred in several films and is now engaged in coaching. Later, the couple had a daughter called Deborah, who was practicing bodybuilding under guidance of the older brother, and the younger son Danny, who also linked his life with sports and practices Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. In 1978, Bruce Lee's picture Game of Death was completed with the use of stunt doubles and was released in cinemas. Bolo Yeung also appeared in it. The actor also tried his hand at directing. In 1979, the comedy thriller Bolo and the film Wendo were released. Among the actor's subsequent works are the action movie The Ninja Strikes Back, the horror movie The Boxer's Omen, the action comedies Millionaire's Express, Lucky Stars Go Places, Where's Officer Tuba, and My Lucky Stars. In 1986, Bolo worked with Bruce Lee's son Brandon on the set of Legacy of Rage.
I've been fighting in the streets for 10 years. No one's ever laid a hand on me.
He not only played the main character's antagonist, but also prepared Brandon for fights. Yeung would book the gym for 9 a.m., but Lee only would show up at noon. Lee was reluctant to exercise. He only did it because the producers asked him to. While acting in movies, Bolo Yeung repeatedly became the champion of Southeast Asia in Kempo from the late 70s to the late 80s. Even in the 90s, he still successfully participated in competitions. Bolo Yeung became world famous by the action movie Bloodsport, released in 1988, in which he played the main villain named Chang Li.
Very good. But brick, not hit back.
On the set, he met the actor Jean-Claude Van Damme, who had always been a fan of Bolo. Although critics gave the film negative reviews, the audience received it well, and the career of the 42-year-old actor got a second wind. Bloodsport gave the actor access to the roles of the main negative characters in action films Blood Fight, Breathing Fire, Tiger Claws, Fearless Tiger, and Ironheart. In 1991, Van Damme invited Yeung to play his rival in the film Double Impact, offering a fee of $25,000.
Where are the twins?
Fuck you.
Stop! They've gone. They've left the island.
She lies.
20 years later, Jean-Claude's son surprised his father by inviting Bolo to dinner, and they gladly revisited the times when they worked on the set together 15 hours a day. Bolo constantly mentions in interviews that the role of a villain entrenched in him doesn't embarrass him. Nevertheless, there are several roles of good guys in the actor's filmography. In 1993, he played in the fantastic action movie TC-2000, and also appeared as Master Shingo in the films Shoot Fighter, Fight to the Death, released in 1993, and Shoot Fighter 2, 1996.
You want to press charges, we'll meet you in court. Now, get out.
Relax.
Also in 1996, Yeung starred in another action movie, Tiger Claws 2, after which he had a career break. In 2006, Yahoo conducted a survey asking users who is the best actor in kung fu films, and Bolo took second place right after Bruce Lee. In 2007, he was invited to star in The Ultimate Fighter, co-produced by the United States and Kazakhstan. Due to legal issues, the film never made it to the cinemas. It was limited to screenings at several festivals until it went online more than 4 years later. In 2008, Bolo officially announced that he was leaving his work in the cinema, but after that, he nevertheless starred in 2 more films made in Kazakhstan. In 2011, Bolo Yeung came to Russia at the invitation of a fitness club. He had visited Moscow earlier in the 90s and announced work on a joint picture, but the project was never implemented. Bolo also appeared in an episode of the documentary project Jean-Claude Van Damme Behind Closed Doors. It is worth noting that Yeung has also appeared in several documentaries about Bruce Lee. In 2016, the actor played a cameo role in Diamond Cartel and appeared in the action-adventure movie The Whole World at Our Feet a year earlier. Bolo is currently the chairman of the Hong Kong Gym Business Association and the team manager of the Tapai International Bodybuilder Squad. He also conducts master classes, celebrity stakeouts, and autograph sessions. He begins every morning with a 2-hour workout, doesn't smoke or drink alcohol. The fortune of 74-year-old Bolo Yeung is estimated at $1.5 million and mainly accounts for real estate. Since 2018, the actor has been living in Monterey Park, California, in a 2-story house with 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. On the ground floor, there is a dining room with an elegant chandelier and a large open kitchen with a dining area leading to a living room with a fireplace. There are 3 more bedrooms on the 2nd floor, and there is a seating area in the backyard with a gazebo and a fountain. The garage has space for 4 cars, but only one of Bolo's cars is known to the public. It's the $49,000 Audi A3 convertible. Amiable in common life, Bolo Yeung always knew how to bring the feeling of a real threat on the other side of the screen. He tried to make people see martial arts as something more than just a circus, and once said that a real professional should make one move which will be watched breathlessly. What is your favorite movie with Bolo Yeung? If you like the video, leave a like and also subscribe to the channel so as not to miss anything interesting.